we did.
I just felt that he probably carried him over just over a horse width.
Yeah.
And he was knocked off his true line, but it would need to be really, really close for that to even be considered being changed. And it's frustrating when you're coming with a run and you think you're going to get on top, and they don't take into account that what the winner's done movement-wise. But yeah, I think that was a correct result.
Let's confirm the full result then. Vape, 11-4 joint favourite, no problems. Keeps the race. Epic Express second, 17-2. Newbo third, 11-1. The result stands. The winning margin was a neck and 14 ran. 6:30 contest, mile and three-quarter handicap. It's a class 6. Manana is 11-4. 4-1, Uther Pendragon. Hammy End, 5-1. 11-2, Bird for Life. Hidden Pearl, 15-2. 9-1, Capella Blue. Zyra's Lioness, 11s, 16s, Astronomic, and Shiraz's 40s. All 9 go. Manana favourite, and here they are in the paddock. Chris is looking at them.
And we're going to start with your market leader. This is Manana for informed Johnny Portman. A few angles with this filly, really, in a low-grade race where quite a few of them have got plenty of convictions. And Manana is having her first go in handicap, up in trip following a break with the stable going well, having shown a little bit of promise on a few of her starts as well. She is the possible improver in the race, and I suspect that she might just be a little bit better than her mark. She can just creep into this 0-55 off a mark of 57, and she looks really well as well. As I say, the stable in good form. She's followed by number 4, that is Uther Pendragon, who's yet to win on the all-weather, has got 3 career wins to his name. The all-weather isn't a problem for him, but winning nowadays doesn't come easy. You've got to go back to June of 2020 and a lot of runs since he last stuck his head in front, and there's been 1 or 2 signs of why that's the case along the way as well. He's got the ability to win a race like this, but whether he produces the inclination to do it, we'll have to wait and see. Number 8 is next in the blue sheet. That is Shiraz for Ivan Furtado and Kieran O'Neill. Another of the unexposed ones, daughter of Harzand, who has only had the 4 outings to this point, was actually behind Hidden Pearl last time out on his handicap debut. That was over this trip, and need to improve on that, but is an unexposed one. Zyra's Lioness for Trevor Whelan and Sheena West is the next one in the paddock. Again, one of the unexposed ones, and ran pretty well last time out, for all that she was well enough beaten. I don't think she was completely disgraced in a slightly higher level of handicap, and for all that she'd have to progress from that, she's on such a low mark of 46, it wouldn't take a massive amount more to get her competitive. So for all that she was well enough held when 3rd last time out, I don't think it was too bad a run. Number 5, that's Hidden Pearl, who ran well last time. Quite a free-going sort of horse at times is Hidden Pearl, and just looked very tuned up and fresh and well in the prelims. No match last time out for Golden Shot, who was an ease-down winner around Wolverhampton, but that horse looked very, very well handicapped and back down in grade a little bit against probably no horse that got quite as much as Golden Shot had in hand. Then Hidden Pearl, they might be hoping for 1 spot better. A real model of consistency on her recent starts, and as I say, she's got plenty of enthusiasm. She stays the trip. Number 9 is Astronomic, who's got a string of duck eggs next to his name to this point, but he's up in trip for the first time today for Darrell Holland, who's had a really good year, and he looks well. It was Astronomic. Back round to the other side again, and we can see number 1 now. This is Bird for Life, who was a remarkable winner in many ways at Wolverhampton last time out. He completely blew the start. It's becoming a bit of a problem, really, and he doesn't always show a great deal of enthusiasm in the early part of the race. He's quite reluctant, and that was as bad as he's missed the start last time out. He lost loads of ground and somehow managed to come home in front. The ability is there, but he is a little bit risky, I think. Tyler Hurd, who knows him well, taking the ride once again, gave him a really good ride to keep going and cajole him into the race to win last time out. Hammy End is next for William Muir and Chris Grassick. PJ McDonald taking the ride on a free-going sort of horse who doesn't always find a great deal when asked under pressure, which I think is the concern really with him. Then we move on to number 6, Kapler Blue for Gay Kellaway. Hasn't had too much racing so far. Inside draw in stall 2, and things didn't quite go right really last time out, so maybe back down in trip and back down in grade a little bit. Unexposed horse who is a previous winner off this mark could be getting competitive. And then we are back round to our favourite, Manana, the mount of Tyler Saunders for Johnny Portman. And jockeys are now getting aboard and making their way out onto the track.
Cheers, Chris. Yeah, it's a good look at them in the parade ring. They're going to head down to the start now. Manana favourite here, George. Her daughter of Postpone. She's 3-1. And I guess if you get involved with her, you're hanging your hat on the fact that she's a handicap debutant stepping up in trip.
Yeah, opening mark of 57, Angus. I can't make the case for her myself from what I've seen watching her run in her 3 starts to date. Johnny Portman's been in really, really good form lately, and he did a similar thing with a horse called Knight's Gambit recently. It's just whether she's streetwise enough to get a good position from stall 1 round here, because we've seen recently if you don't do that and you get in sort of the middle of the pack and a little bit of kickback, they just, it's hard if you're green. So I'm sure Tyler Saunders' main objective would be to get a good position and get. Oh, that's
Bird for Life kicking out.
That was a good bit of Springer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think I could do that anymore, Angus.
No, not me, George.
No help.
Bird for Life's a bit tricky, particularly at the stalls. Often very slowly away. But did manage somehow to win last time up, as Chris was saying, this mare.
Yeah, she benefited from the race was run at just a sensible gallop on that occasion, but they got racing a long way out, and there was a little bit of a pace collapse, and she stayed on. That was over the 2 miles, which is, I think, is key for her, in my opinion. Or the extended 2 miles at Wolverhampton. She's dropping back to a mile 6 here. She will need to be run at a frenetic gallop to have any chance of getting involved at all.
Yeah.
And my sort of angle for her not being competitive, the only horse I can really identify that might roll along and make the running is Uther Pendragon.
And Uther Pendragon, for win purposes, is a bit dodgy, you would have thought, wouldn't you? He hasn't won for 38 starts, this fella. I know he's now quite well handicapped. He's got Aidan Keeley on board. He won that last race on Vape, but you know, you're taking a chance, aren't you?
A big chance. Uther Pendragon's been running consistently well, but he is not the most willing partner. I remember a couple of starts back round here, Liam Canary was at pains to keep him going forward. He raced very awkwardly on that occasion, and that was over a little bit shorter, so I would have thought mile 6 will make life a little bit easier for Aidan Keeley, but again, he's got his own way of doing things.
Hammy End is unreliable, it would be fair to say. He's had 2 goes here and didn't run very well.
Yeah, Hammy End is a gelding of William Muir and Chris Grassick that you always feel that you never see the best of. Doesn't look the most convincing sometimes under pressure. You see he's got a sort of an awkward way of carrying himself, and he's very much the same in his races. And I just don't think this track is his perfect setup where you need to be quite brave and gutsy at times. That's why I'm siding with John Berry's Hidden Pearl. I think she's very, very consistent. She's uber consistent, and really I think the race will be from stall 8. Faye McMahon will just get a nice pitch, hopefully mid-pack, and I think she'll be seen to very good effect. I thought it was a good run last time behind a handicap shoe-in of Smart Prescott.
Very easy winner, wasn't it?
And
Wolverhampton.
She's shaped with plenty of promise, and off a mark of 49 I think she'll be very competitive.
Yeah, she's consistent, isn't she, compared to some of these. I mean, we've been quite negative about a few of them, but you can't really be negative about her in this grade.
No, and that's why she's my pick in this, really. I think she's much more trustworthy, and I thought she sort of is a safe each way bet as such.
Yeah, okay, so an each way go, George thinks. Hidden Pearl here, about an 8-1 shot on the exchanges. Currently. Let's get Chris's thoughts here. I mean, Chris, we've been quite negative about a few of these, and that's part of the reason why Manana's probably at the head of the market.
I think that's exactly right, really, Angus. You kind of initially look and you think, well, yes, Manana will need to improve to justify favouritism, but she has shaped with a little bit of encouragement on the odd start, and there's just the factors of being unexposed, having had a break and returning when the yard really are in top form that kind of lead you to looking at her and thinking she's be the one that might yet do an awful lot better than what we've seen. Zara's Lioness is another one that kind of fits that bill. As I said, I don't think that was a bad run, really, last time out. I know it looks to have been beaten a reasonably long way, but this is a horse who has steadily got better since coming onto the flat. Didn't show a great deal in bumpers, but looked fit and straight. And given that the winner, Cavendish, in that race at Wolverhampton won by so far, I don't think it was a particularly bad running behind. And she's another of the relatively unexposed ones. You've got Bird for Life, who won last time out, but I don't think you could trust him given the way that he shaped for that win. Uther Pendragon, again, I don't know if you could fully trust him to actually go and win a race given how long that losing sequence has been. Hidden Pearl beat all bar one that was thrown in, I suppose, last time out at Wolverhampton. No match for Golden Shot, who won geared down. So maybe that mare by Dunedin is one that will do a little bit better. And Capital Blue would be another one that I wouldn't be surprised if she got a little bit more competitive. The Phoenix Reach filly, she only beat a few home here last time, but I don't think the race quite went her way, to be honest, and dropped back from 2 miles to 1 mile and 3/4 might not be a bad move for her. Looking at the run at Southwell the time before that, when she really wasn't beaten that far, but looked like she might just want a little bit further, I think you can make a case for her being feasibly enough handicapped, really, from an inside draw in stall 2. And it was a 3-year-old only race. I know she only beat 1 home in it, but she really wasn't beaten that far. And just watching that back, kind of thought she's worth a go over an extra couple of furlongs. She does seem to switch off in her races, which will give her every opportunity to stay longer distances, this and the 2 miles that she tried last time out on the flat. But she does have relatively a little bit of pace, I suppose, given that she's a 10 furlong winner already this year. So I'm sort of making a case for her at a double figure price. I think Manana is the most obvious improver in the race, and I do like the fact that she's had a break ahead of her handicap debut and that going up in trip, and all of that coming together at a time when the stable are in top form as well. So lots of positives there. There's a few of them, as I said, that you can't really trust, like Uther Pendragon, who's definitely capable of winning a race like this, but it's just so long since he did that puts you off. Hammy End, likewise, did actually win earlier on in the season, but it's just typical of him to not really find a great deal off the bridle. And Bird for Life, the other way around, really. Found plenty last time out, but just doesn't have any zip about him, about her early on in a race. So, talking about low-level stuff, Shiraz wasn't a million miles behind Hidden Pearl last time out, but was comfortably enough held, beaten double digits, and he's going to have to improve quite a bit on that. But it was her first start for a good while, only going a handicap so far, so she's another of the unexposed to be grade. I think if I had to sort of narrow it down to 2, Manana and Capital Blue would be the couple that I'd probably focus on. Manana is the favourite. Capital Blue at a slightly bigger price, maybe going to offer the each-way value, coming down in grade for the first time here into a 0-55. So there's another slight angle with her that she's dropped into the lower grade of handicap for the first time in her career, and she is a proven winner who hasn't had too much racing. We're only, 8 starts into her racing career at this point. Astronomic is going to have to be helped by the step up in distance, but Darrell Holland's team have been going well this year, and maybe there will be better to come from Astronomic as he continues to develop. He's only got a very low mark of 50, so again, won't need to be particularly good to win a race of this level off the mark that he's on. I don't think we're going to have too many of them that are miles ahead of their mark. If we have, I think it's most likely to be Manana or Kapla Blue. They're both well drawn. On the inside, in stalls 1 and 2 as well, so that's another couple of positives for the horses that I'd have highest up my list. That is Hammy End going forward. And we're just about round to the last one, who is going to be Shiars under Kieran O'Neill.
We're set now. They're off. 1 mile and 6 furlongs is the race distance. Bird for Life, pretty much usual stuff from her. Slowly away. Always seem to hesitate in the stalls. To be honest, not as badly away as she can be either. But she's at the back of the field early. Meanwhile, the pacemakers, what pace there is, they don't appear to be going very hard. Uther Pendragon takes over with the lead. Zyra's Lioness on the outside. Hidden Pearl right in behind those. And the well-backed Astronomic now just goes ahead of Hidden Pearl into the bend to claim 3rd place. Kapla Blue is next, followed by Hammy End towards their outside. Manana is next to Shiars, and that back marker is Bird for Life still as they make their way in towards the home straight. They've got just about 1.25 miles left to go in this Chelmsford City Racecourse. Membership available now, handicap. And Uther Pendragon leads the way narrowly. Zyra's Lioness to the outside. Then we've got the blue jacket of Hidden Pearl, who keeps trading places with Astronomic, who still sits on the inside running rail. Kapla Blue is directly in behind Astronomic, and then Hammy End in the green and white starred jacket, 6th place on the outside. Manana's tucked away, followed then by Shiars, and the back marker is still Bird for Life. Moving away with a circuit left to go and heading towards the back straight for a second time, Uther Pendragon continues to lead from Zyra's Lioness. In 3rd position, Astronomic and Hidden Pearl there on the outer. Kapla Blue, Hammy End, Manana, followed then by Shiars, and the back marker being Bird for Life. 8 lengths cover the field. 6 furlongs left to run now. Uther Pendragon still leads them as they head into the back straight. Uther Pendragon, Zyra's Lioness. I wonder which of these will attempt to break the order. They've held the same order for some time now. Astronomic and Hidden Pearl 3 and 4. Kapla Blue and Hammy End 5 and 6. 7th and 8th for Manana and Shiraz. And the back marker is Bird for Life still as they move towards the penultimate bend in the race. Less than half a mile left to run now. Uther Pendragon from Zyra's Lioness. Astronomic still 3rd, followed then by Hidden Pearl to the outside. Hammy End, Kapla Blue, Manana, Shiraz pushed along now, and so too Bird for Life. Maybe the really steady early pace won't suit those two as they head in towards the home straight. Zyra's Lioness looks as though she's about to attack for the lead now with Uther Pendragon. Hidden Pearl holding her line there, meaning that Astronomic has to go for a rail run out on the wide outside. Hammy End, and in particular Manana finishing off pretty well. Bird for Life is giving it a good go on the wide outside now, but the leader is Hidden Pearl, chased by Manana. Bird for Life back in behind those in 3rd place, but these three group right up as they hit to the line. Bird for Life and Manana hit the line together. Tight between Manana and Bird for Life. Hidden Pearl was right with them at the line. Stirring finish.
Goes up to the judge. Exciting finish to our 1 mile 3/4 handicap. And maybe Bird for Life on the near side has just managed to get there and follow up that win from Wolverhampton last time out. And if she has, it's last to first once again for Bird for Life and Tyler Hurd. Once again, she's not well away. She's got a lot of ground to make up after an early stage, but they didn't go quick, and she was very easily able to latch onto them. And then in a race where they hadn't gone much of a gallop,
the Fedro finish for 1st place.
The worry was that she wouldn't pick up.
Number 1, Bird for Life.
As well as some, but she has done. And she does have a relative turn of foot at this level against stayers, and she's used that to good effect to come down the outside and pick up Manana in 2nd, who's had to come very, very wide around the bend into the straight. The winner and the 2nd have both come right up the centre of the track. Also on a similar part is Hidden Pearl, who has continued her really consistent run she's only running at a low level, but she's very consistent, and credit to her and her connections that she just keeps on running as well as she does. She's done so once again here. You kind of feel for her a little bit, keeping on getting beaten, but she did win a few starts ago. But there's a horse who really is in good form at the moment. She's taken a while to warm up into her races. She's not that great coming out, but once she's into the rhythm of the race, she's fine, and she's quickened up best to follow up that Wolverhampton win.
She has. I think she's done pretty well, because it was quite a steadily run affair, George, wasn't it? And she's come from quite a long way back to run down Manana in yellow, and Hidden Pearl on the far side. Just a short head she's won by, I think. Might be a head, but it's pretty close. And Manana was forced wide off the home bend. That might have been critical. What do you think, George?
Yeah, as I would have thought so. As always, Bird for Life, she's slowly into stride. She's never ever the quickest to react to the gates opening, and takes a while to warm into it. And there was a sort of slow early tempo. You could see Uther Pendragon from his wide draw under Aidan Keeley just gradually got to the front and dictated at very steady fractions. But I think the key thing to note is, and we'll talk about it on the way when it happens, the race developed a good way from home, and that's definitely played to Bird for Life's hands again.